Hey, thanks for hanging out again with me, BE Seymore on SportsProbe. Good to see you guys back again. Thanks for hanging out with me. We're going to talk a little bit of sports. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL playoff situation, implications, games. All the games basically this week have some type of playoff implications. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about some news and notes around the league, things that you know about already and that have been talked about. We're going to get into it just a bit. Also, I want to talk about women's college basketball. Who's the number one team? Where's UConn at this year? Ooh, one player you lose, and all of a sudden you're nowhere in sight. Get into that a little bit. Hey, Kyrie's back, so we want to find out how he did, as we all know already. But the implications of being a road warrior instead of being able to play at home with the mandate. We're going to get into that. Now, first and foremost, let me get into these news and notes for the NFL. First and foremost, Henry Ruggs Jr., wide receiver, first round pick out of Alabama, had a DUI, killed somebody, and this was this year or last year with the season, and was suspended for the year. Now he's facing up to 30 years. You would think his teammate Nate Hood would figure that out. He gets a DUI this week. He driving in the car over 100 miles an hour. Doesn't kill anybody, but still, come on, man. If you can't learn from the lesson before you, what are you doing, man? These cats get this money and they think they're invincible. I don't get it. It's a sad state of affairs for the NFL. These players keep getting caught up in these situations. It has to stop. Baker Mayfield, done for the season, going to have shoulder surgery, will not be there for his team's final game against Cincinnati. He's also looking at possibly not being back with Cleveland next year. So we're going to hope that he has good surgery, gets through that. But Baker kind of underachieved this year. He lost to OBJ because he wouldn't throw him the ball, and now OBJ is flourishing in Los Angeles. So we're going to see what happens with him. Speaking of receivers, Antonio Brown shows up at the Nets game after he leaves his teammates hanging at MetLife Stadium. I don't know what the story is. All I can say is this. Any one of us that's played sports, if any of us walked off the field, it's over. It's a wrap. It'll be a team that'll pick them up. Sad to say it, but hell, Josh Gordon came back 5 times. And he was doing drugs, so I don't know. I'm just saying, AB just a head case, and he's a great athlete. That's the part that bothers you more than anything else, especially being a receiver myself. I'm like, come on, man. One of the best the game's ever seen, but if you're not out there playing and you're going to walk off the field from your teammates, that's not good for anybody. Okay, and then Bud Dupree. I don't know if he got into this. This is the Titans linebacker who came over from Pittsburgh in the free agency. But the Titan linebacker apparently was in the car. And maybe that was his family that was in. I haven't really gotten the reports on it like I wanted to. But he came out of the car, went in the car, assaulted a grocery shop attendant, and now he's charged with assault. Come on, man. You got to know you're a big figure. Why would you? I mean, what did the grocery guy do so bad that you had to hit him and hurt him and now put yourself in this situation? The only good thing coming out of this whole thing for the Titans is that Derrick Henry, the 2,000-yard runner, the all-world running back, the Pro Bowl running back, he has been cleared. He has been cleared to practice at the facility in Tennessee and hopefully ready to go for the playoffs, especially with the Titans if they win this week, and we'll go over these picks now, that they win. It's looking pretty good for Derrick Henry to be out there in that first-round playoff game because they'll have the bye week on Wild Card weekend. So let's look at that and see if Derrick Henry returns to form as we know how he can run the rock. Okay? Now, the game's coming up this weekend. First game up, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. No Lamar. Ben's last game. And matter of fact, let me just say this too. Ryan Clark of ESPN said that Ben Roethlisberger is the best quarterback that Pittsburgh has ever had. He must have he said no offense to Terry Bradshaw. Well, Terry Bradshaw has 4 rings. And he did it at a time where the quarterbacks weren't babies. Now, Ben could get out of some holes and things of that nature, but Ben's no Terry. Terry was the man. Terry was, between him and Roger Staubach back in the day, there was no more of an elite quarterback than Terry Bradshaw. So I just totally disagree with Ryan Clark. That's it. The Steelers need this game to get in the playoffs. Baltimore, no Lamar. Their defense and this rivalry has been unprecedented over the years. I want to take Baltimore home, but I just got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to eat this out. I don't know if they're going to get in, but I got a feeling they're going to eat this game out. Cincinnati, Cleveland, no Baker, no Joe Burrow. Cincinnati's a better team. They're going to win this game. Detroit, Green Bay. Green Bay wins that game. This is the 1 o'clock schedules, by the way. Green Bay wins this game. Detroit's going to keep it close, but Detroit's going to win the game. Tennessee, Houston. Houston needs it to be the first seed, as I said earlier today. Derrick Henry possibly coming back. A.J. Brown coming back. Julio Jones coming back. They have a monster squad if you look ahead in the playoffs. And they might be the team that can upset a very, very strong Kansas City Chiefs team. But that said, you got to play the games, and they need to win this game on Sunday. Indianapolis, Jacksonville. Looks like a cakewalk. I don't think so. Guys play for pride. And if Indianapolis thinks they're going to walk into Jacksonville and just win that game, they are going to win. But it's not. It's going to be a battle. I don't think that Jacksonville's just going to go out like that. I think Jacksonville's looking forward to next season, and they're going on vacation, but they gotta put some pieces together. They gotta coach first, but I just think it's going to be a tough game, but I think Indianapolis will prevail. Chicago and Minnesota, two teams going nowhere. Mike Zimmer, Nagy, probably both out as coaches. I'm just going to say Chicago because I'm just going to say Chicago. Minnesota might need a win, but I'm just going to say Chicago. And the final game on that 1 o'clock slate is the New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. Right now, I'm looking more at the Giants needing a win. They really do. They really need a win. They need a win really bad because Joe Judge has put his foot in his mouth too many times here. So I think the Giants will beat the Washington football team, who will, as we've heard this week, be selecting a new team name. So we look forward to them not being the Washington football team anymore, right? The 4 o'clock slate, some very good games. Seattle, Arizona. Russell Wilson's always going to play tough, but Kyler Murray, after that win last week in Dallas, I think they continue to roll. They're at home. They should win that game. New Orleans, Atlanta is a straight rivalry, and I got it the Falcons winning this game. They don't play well at home for some reason. I don't know why, but they play the Saints well home. And I think Atlanta's going to upset New Orleans and not any chance that New Orleans had of getting in the playoffs right out. Buffalo and the Jets. Buffalo's got to win the game. They just do. I'm not going through all the particulars of why and who and what. They got to win the game if they want to win the East to be in the first round, period. That's it. San Francisco and the Rams. Tough game. 49ers always play the Rams tough. Matter of fact, McVay has had a tough time winning against the 49ers. So I'm going to go with the 49ers in that game. Miami, New England, it looks like New England's going to win this game, and they're not. Miami's going to upset them, just like they did 2 years ago when they knocked New England out. They're going to beat them again. Watch me. Mark my word. Tampa Bay, Carolina. Tampa Bay is going to win. All the controversy this week. It's just a game they have to win. They have to win. Now, I saved the Saturday games on purpose because it's looking like to me that we've got two games that one looks like it's not that much, but Nick Fangio's playing for his job as head coach in Denver, and I just got a feeling that the Chiefs are going to barely eke by in this game. But the Chiefs will win. They will win, get like a 24-20 game, something like that. I think the Chiefs will win that game. And then the Cowboys and Eagles. Cowboys got to win. They need to win a game on the road. They just lost at home. The Eagles, they're both in. So that's the part of it. They're both going to be in the playoffs. But I think the Cowboys got to win that game in order to show some type of credible Super Bowl chance to even get to the Super Bowl. They got to win this game. They got to go in with some momentum in the playoffs and win this game. Now, on Monday night, Georgia's going to play Alabama. Alabama has had Georgia's. They had them like they beat them up every year. They beat them up. They beat them this year. They beat them last year. Every time Kirby Smart loses, it's to Alabama. He don't lose to nobody else. This year he won't lose. This is Alabama's chance. This is Georgia's chance. Alabama will play a tough game as they always do. Nick will have his team ready. But I just got a feeling 27-24, Georgia, the Bulldogs will win the national championship. And in women's college basketball, you notice that Dawn Staley's last year when she won the national championship, it's funny because they're back on top again with a 13-3 record, 13-1 record, sorry. But they're doing it with a bunch of mix of different players, young, older upperclassmen. They got a good mix. And I like the flavor of that team. So everybody should keep an eye out for those Gamecocks and South Carolina, because Dawn Staley is an excellent coach. We know she was a great player, great Olympian. So she's just a top-notch women's basketball coach. I wish I could say the same about Gino Auriemma. Gino Auriemma was 100 times the coach that Dawn Staley was until this year. Something changed. One player goes down, and next thing you know, they can't win a game. He's always had somebody in the back, in the stable, on the bench that could come in and produce points. For whatever reason, he doesn't have it. Do you know this? This is a key stat. This is the first time in 16 years, 16, that they've been out of the top 10. The last time they were at number 11 was March 7th, 2005. You know how long ago that was? And it's been 313 straight weeks they've been in the top 10 in the college women's basketball poll. So, it's amazing to believe that they're number 11 in the country with a 6-3 record. By now, they're 9-0, 10-0, 11-0. But, hey, the talent's going elsewhere. The other teams that are in the top 5, just to let you know anyway, the Louisville, Stanford Cardinal at 9-3. Louisville, the Cardinals are at 12-1. Arizona Wildcats are 10-0. They haven't been blemished yet. And North Carolina State, Wolfpack, 12-2. Very good team, that Wolfpack team. Keep an eye on them as well. Now, in the NBA, Mr. Kyrie Irving returned, and he returned triumphantly, I must say. 22 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. He played 32 minutes as well. His conditioning looked outstanding. I gotta say that. He looked like he was ready to go, but he did admit that he could have done some things better. He wasn't expecting the implications of him sitting out because of the pandemic and not wanting to get vaccinated. He admitted it. He said, hey, I didn't really know it was going to feel like this, but it wasn't something that I was expecting. So let's give him some credit. Listen, he's a fantastic basketball player. There's not many Kyrie Irvings running around in the streets anywhere in the United States. And when he hits the floor, he is just a must-see talent. Brain-wise, hey, he from Jersey. I'll give him love. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to give him love because he's my homeboy. And at the end of the day, they all say that we Jersey guys are somewhat a little kooky, but we're strong in what we do, and we're good at what we do. So I just want to keep that in mind. Just going to throw that out there. And, the show's going to wrap up now. I just gave you a little bit. I'm getting myself to the flow where I want to, really start talking some more sports. But we got the playoffs coming up. We got NBA All-Star coming up in February. We got the women's and men's college basketball championships coming up here in March and April. So things are about to start ramping up with the NFL about to go away. So, again, college football playoff this week. We got the NBA, NFL implications on the playoffs. And let's be mindful as we continue to do. I still wear the mask. I hope you can hear me. Stay safe. Just stay safe out there. Don't do anything to put yourself or your family in jeopardy, okay? And let's continue to just all try to get through this pandemic the best we can. Hey, I got some special thanks to go out to, my main two sponsor guys, my barbers, Howard the Professional in Chicago, and Q the Quintessential Barber of Georgia, for their leadership, their sponsorship, their help with trying to get this program on point and on target for you. Also, my production and technical advisor, Mike Quinney in Buffalo, New York. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate your help. And last but not least, my executive producer, Mr. Kyle Seymore. He has gone out of his way to make sure this production gets better each and every week. And we just want to thank you for spending some time with us today. And we'll be back next Friday as we air the show we tape it on Friday, we air it on Saturday, and we just want you to hang out with us. Give us what you feel is what you like, what you don't like. Hit me at Seymore Barry at Gmail. Excuse me, the Seymore Barry at 15 at gmail.com. Let me say it again. Seymore Barry 15 at gmail.com. That's SEYMOREBARRY, no space, 15 at gmail.com. Hey, I just want to thank you for hanging out with me again. Till next week, enjoy the games, but keep up with the news because I'll be bringing it to you on SportsProbe. Take care.